That's why at NAL, we created a repeatable, scalable locator funnel that automates lead generation, pre-qualification, appointment booking, and automates follow-up. It's the engine behind our students' success. And if you stick with me for just 5 more minutes, I'm going to break down our entire funnel process right now. So let's hop on my laptop and let's break down the process. All right, so here's the super basic locator process. And 95% of the industry are actually using this method of generating leads, working the leads, pre-qualifying them all the way until the client writes the name of the agent on the rental application so they can earn commission. And so you can see a lot of these steps are manually executed by the agent. And then in just a moment, if you stick with us, we're going to show you sort of our apartment locator funnel that we've developed over the years to really automate most of the tasks and really get the most out of this business. All right, so if we start all the way to the left, we can see that the first stage here is lead gen. Most locators are actually just using Facebook Marketplace to post ads on behalf of apartment communities so they can then individually message every potential renter lead, which is a whole lot more work before they manually exchange numbers and call the prospect, okay? Unfortunately, a lot of locators are not familiar with how to generate their own leads in the best way. So then they do the second option here, lead from broker. So the agent's just patiently waiting for their sponsoring broker or company to hand them leads that are just included at their company. Now, whether they're calling the lead from their broker or they're individually DMing a prospect on Marketplace, they have to now initiate a manual phone call. And so what they're doing is creating more work for themselves once they actually get on the phone. Now they have to explain that they're actually an apartment locator, what the service is all about, and that takes time and it gets repetitive. So once they get on a phone call and pitch their free service, then they're going to go into the second stage of manually pre-qualifying. So whether the locator is using something called a paper guest card where they have all the pre-qualifying questions on a piece of paper, they're having to manually ask them really uncomfortable questions like what their credit score is, if they have any criminal background or broken leases. And this stuff just isn't really comfortable when you're doing it with every single lead over the phone. And then they're going to go over to this stage, which is just sending the list of apartment options that could be a good fit to the renter. And while this stage, the actual work that it takes an apartment locator to do isn't really that challenging, what we're seeing is that most agents leveraging this model, they're hanging up the phone and then sending the email list of apartment options after they get off the phone. And so this is actually not the best way to work because we're testing that if you can actually send the list of apartment matches while you're still on the phone with someone, your conversion rate goes up and it's easier to close that client. And then they go over to this stage follow-up. So now for however many days it takes for that renter to open up the email, which they might not because they sent it after they hung up the phone. Now they have to go on tour and decide which apartment to apply to. And so this stage becomes really unorganized if you're not using a sophisticated tool to track this stuff neatly, like in a CRM. Every single day, they're going through their stack of paper guest cards, following up with clients manually. And the problem here is that we're all human at the end of the day. And so eventually you're just going to forget to follow up with everyone. Okay. And then what happens when ghosting becomes part of the equation? Now, I will say that apartment locating is generally a better industry where ghosting isn't that big of a concern because we're offering a free service to a renter that's really in need. It's not like we're in another industry where we're selling a product or a service for money. So naturally, ghosting is lower compared to other sales industries, but ghosting still happens in apartment locating. And so when that happens, if you're working manually like most of the industry is, you're just going to forget to follow up with someone that hasn't responded to you. And so you're losing money every single week because there's not really like an automated ghosting solution. Okay. And then you go into this stage, applied and approved. Even though this is what most apartment locators are doing, everything manual, no automations. Well, this is still such a good business naturally that you're still going to make money this way. And it's true that you can still earn $10,000 a month or more, even if you're working the process manually. And so the last step is while you're following up manually, someone will remember you. They checked out their email and then they remembered to write your name on the rental application. So you're still going to get paid just because this business naturally is easier than being a realtor. But what I'm going to do now is show you the funnel that we've developed to really make this business a lot more fun, lower the workload, and increase our production every single month. Okay, so let's show you our funnel in 3, 2, 1, minimize. So this is the epic 300K locator funnel developed by NAL. Just stick with me here, okay? Don't worry about the steps above. Don't worry about the steps below. You see how it loops down here? Don't worry about this. These are just possible scenarios that could happen because renters or leads, sometimes they take different behaviors just as people, but this funnel is optimized to close and generate leads and automatically pre-qualify no matter what the lead chooses to do. Okay, so let's just go through this from left to right, just so you can see like how the process should go in a perfect world. And then we're gonna come back and talk about like what we're doing with paid ads to really fuel this funnel. Why is it a YouTube ad in the beginning? Why are we doing Facebook for retargeting? We're gonna get into that after the ideal scenario. Okay, so starting at the beginning, we're still running free organic ads, but the truth is it isn't just Facebook Marketplace that you can run effective ads if you know how to do it right. We're using Marketplace in our business, Craigslist with an auto poster. That one's really underrated. We're using Nextdoor and having a lot of success. But just to keep this video short, let's stick to the main steps, okay? So one of the things we do differently is we add a QR code and images so someone, if they're on their laptop, can just scan in right into the survey. And this step right here is a one question at a time survey software, which is gonna get all of the pre-qual. And at the end of that survey, we're gonna implant a VSL, which is a video explainer that goes over what your service is all about so everyone is on the same page. Okay, so here we implant a 2-minute VSL. And what we've discovered over the years is that if we skip the step in booting up a whole website or a slow landing page and just lead the prospect directly into the survey/VSL hybrid, we're seeing 40% more success rate. They're going to go through the survey. They're going to watch the VSL so that way they know how we can help them. And remember, what we're doing differently in this starting stage when we run our ads is we're letting them know clearly that we're an apartment locator service and we're explaining them the benefits of working with a locator and how it's better than just trying to find deals on apartments randomly. We're not confusing anyone before they go into our survey and then watch our explainer video. In a perfect world, they complete all the survey, they go and they book a Zoom call. We have a calendar software that allows them to book a date on Zoom. Then they go over here to the warm-up video. And this warm-up video is really important because it's basically a thank you page, landing page. So the second they book, it takes them to the landing page and it says, hey, thanks so much for booking. And then we're reminding them about how awesome our free service is and the incentives that we have for attending the call. Okay, so they see the warm-up video, so they're even more warmed up on how we can help them. And then they go over to this stage, which is actually waiting and showing up for their Zoom call. This is much better to run your business this way because your lead or prospect just lived out all of these other stages before they even see you and conduct the call. So look, they saw your ad, it was not confusing. They saw your VSL after going through the survey for pre-qual. So now you've already got your pre-qual done. There's no need to ask awkward questions. And this is what helps you enjoy your job better because you're avoiding the uncomfortable questions to ask over and over and over again with every prospect. We're letting software handle this for us automatically. So we've got the pre-qual, they saw the VSL, they understand your service before they even speak to you. They booked a Zoom call, they saw the warm-up video. And so by the time you actually do anything manually, we're conducting Zoom appointments. That in itself psychologically will lower ghosting. And these prospects, what we're finding out is they're respecting us as professionals and they're respecting our time because they get to see us over video. So while other locators are manually calling over the phone and putting in more work to explain their service, that's already automated for us. And by the time we're actually doing the Zoom appointment, it's as if we're in an office doing an in-person appointment, but it's allowing us to take these Zoom calls from home or anywhere that has Wi-Fi. And the lead is already warmed up. So on the Zoom call, we have all the requirements thanks to the survey software. And then we're going to send the list of 5 or 10 apartment options to them while we're still on the Zoom call. And this is what's increasing our closing rate. Now, after this step, we go over to NAL video. And this tool is so important because it's how we're following up after Zoom calls by using a tool that can record our face, our screen, and we can instantly make those videos and send it off to our clients. I'm actually using NAL video now. That's what this video is. And I'm going to show you how we're actually using NAL video. If a client's telling us that they're interested in apartment A, I don't know, let's say the Montera in North Austin, I'm going to hop on the Montera website and I'm going to record my screen like this. And I'm going to say, what's up, client? I know you're interested in the Montera. So I just wanted to show you some of the floor plans that are available. I'm going to go to floor plans. I'm going to scroll down here and like show them all the live pricing so I can close them better from home. That's the whole point. Okay. So I'm going to say, hey, look, the best rate you can see right here is like $15.49. I'm going to zoom in on it like that and say like, look, it looks like it's 1107. Let's go find it on the map. And I'll show them, look, 1107 is like right over here in the corner, right? So this is what you do to follow up better. Once the client applies and gets approved, we've made our commission of $1,000 to $4,000, and we're going to neatly organize them in our CRM by using tags. So we're actually organized. And so when we tag our clients here, they're approved, we can fire off other automations that follows up with them. It's going to ask for referrals down the line. It'll put them in a 1-year nurture automation so we can churn up new business. And you can only do that if you're using a real sophisticated CRM. That's the whole process that makes our job actually enjoyable. And now we're going to come back here and show you the possibilities on like how we handle situations where the leads act differently. Okay. So in the beginning, we're running an ad. They're going to straight away enter our survey in VSL. What happens if they don't complete the survey? Well, if your CRM is good enough to offer a partial opt-in, this means as long as we have their name, email, and phone number, our CRM is still going to capture that lead. So what do we do with the lead's basic contact info if they didn't really complete the pre-qual survey or watch the VSL? Well, we're going to send off text, email, and voicemail drop automations to them. And if they click the link, it's going to shoot them back up here to the calendar software page. But then the question that you might be having is, do they have to restart the whole process? And we solve that by turning on something called Sticky Cookie. The system is going to bring them back to right when they left off so they can continue all the way to booking their call. And hopefully by the time we bring them back, they actually complete that step and then they're in the warm-up video. Now in this warm-up video, at the end of the video, we're going to tell them, hey, if you don't want to wait for your book Zoom call, text us the word call me and we'll have an agent call you right away. And so because we're saying that in the warm-up video, the last part, we have an automation that will fire off something called a call connect. So they text us call me and then the CRM is going to actually call us. And if we confirm, it's going to then call the lead and bridge the two calls together. And so we're doing this step because we're not just relying on them showing up for the Zoom call. Now, once you're on the manual call, here's the thing. They've already lived through all of the stages before. So they know about your ad. They've seen your survey, your VSL. They've seen the warm-up video. So they're so warmed up that if we ever perform manual calls at NAL, they're way easier than the regular processes locators are doing today. Now you're going to follow up. You're going to use the tool NAL video, the way we just walked you through, until they apply and write your name on the application. And then you've made your commission. So now the question is, say they booked a Zoom call. What happens if they no-show? Well, that's going to fire off an automation in our CRM to loop them back into recognizing that it's a no-show. And then it's going to spit them back down here where we're not only going to text them and email them and voicemail drop them through an automation, but this is where paid ads come in. We're also going to remarket to them by running a sponsored Facebook and Instagram ad. Okay. And that ad will say, hey, you know, you were so close. We were about to help you for free and do all this amazing stuff. So why not just go ahead and continue booking your call, right? So whether they're coming through the ad or through a text or email automation, it's going to shoot them back to the calendar page. And because we turned on Sticky Cookie, it's going to recognize at what question they left off before booking their Zoom call. So this way, this funnel comprehensively captures everyone no matter what behavior they choose. You could do this whole process through free ads. You don't actually need paid ads in this business. But if you are going to run paid ads, the only platform we use to run cold advertising is a paid YouTube ad. And the reason we're using YouTube for cold traffic and nothing else is because Google owns YouTube, and Google gives us the filter to actually select on there, show to people that we deem that have intent on renting soon. Now, Facebook and Instagram, those sites don't have that filter. And the reason is because if you think about it, when people are in the market to rent an apartment, they're jumping on Google and they're typing in luxury apartment near me, cheap apartment near me, and other keywords like that. So that way Google knows that these people are going to rent soon. No one really looks up cheap apartments near me or apartments for rent in my zip code on Facebook. So that's why that filter doesn't exist. So if you're running new traffic to a cold audience, you would always do YouTube, because YouTube is a platform where you can present video ads that convert way better than just Google sponsored text. So we're running a YouTube ad on purpose, and then the whole process doesn't change. We shoot them over to the survey/VSL hybrid. We're skipping the step of booting up a website because we're seeing 40% better success. Then they go over to book a call. Once they book a call, they're going to see the warm-up video. Once they see the warm-up video, we're going to perform the Zoom call with them and send them the list actually on the call. And then we're going to follow up with them using this video tool that you're watching all the way until they find an apartment, apply, and we get our commission. So that's kind of like the overview on what's working today. And if you really paid attention, you would notice that most of these steps here, everything is automated. The ad to the pre-qual, to the calendar, to the warm-up video, all of this stuff is automated, and it's giving your leads the chance to know you and your service well before you ever conduct a Zoom call that's more effective or conduct a manual call. So the work becomes way easier until you close them. So I hope you appreciated this breakdown. The truth is you can still make six figures from what most apartment locators are doing, since naturally the business of providing a free service for apartment commission is just such a good business. But once you really upgrade to this funnel that we've perfected over the years and dial it in really well, this is how you can start enjoying your job better, actually loving being an apartment locator, help more clients effectively, and then have better rapport building calls with them. And at the end of the day, that's what is going to help your clients the most, is giving them a way to connect with you on Zoom so they're really taken care of. And ultimately, this allows us to work less manually and make more money, whether it's double or triple the income a regular apartment locator would be earning doing everything manually. I hope this video added some value. Feel free to try to implement this funnel yourself if you want, but if you need help, this is where we can help you the most. Together, we'll get you to six figures your first year in real estate. At the time of this recording, we've trained over 600 locators, more than any other company in the world, making us the most successful locator-focused real estate academy by far. No one even comes close. The most popular Instagram locating firms you may be aware of are our students. We're the reason Gabby made $6,000 in her first week after joining our Locator Academy.
Hi, my name is Gabby, and I just recently got my real estate license. I invested, which was worth every penny. I closed 3 clients in one day at 150%. That's $6,000.
Jose jumped from $3,000 a month to $10,000 a month as a locator, and he was a seasoned agent before he joined. Steven went from realtor to full-time six-figure locator after graduating. Mike entered the six-figure club in 8 weeks after graduating from our Locator Academy. Hear it from him.
My name is Michael. I'm an apartment locator here in the South Florida area. One of the resources that I use is the National Association of Locators. I was earning 5 figures monthly as soon as my second month in the apartment locating business. Generating 6 figures your first year is pretty much unheard of. People do it, but it's just a lot more difficult in the traditional residential real estate game.
And before we make you an insane offer on how to get started with us, here's the last bit of evidence I can give you. Our refund and dispute rate as a company is only 0.59%. Out of all of the over 600 agents we've ever trained, the screenshot is actually right here directly from our Stripe account. And that's unheard of at the level that we're at. Why? Because our six-figure system actually works. Realtors pivot and get results using our locator strategy. I'm inviting you to join our Locator Skool community, the same online learning hub our $8,000 students attend, for just $67 a month. $67 to get started, not $8,500 yet. Here's what you get. Number one, the Locator Crash Course, our $1,500 digital course teaching you how to launch your locating business from scratch and start closing fast. Number two, Locator IQ. You get access to the CRM, which is normally reserved for the $8,000 Academy students. You'll use the same automation and tools our top producing locators use daily. Number three, bi-weekly group coaching. Join Zoom sessions with real top producing coaches who walk you through systems, deals, and are on standby to answer questions. And finally, number four, full community access. Network with hundreds of other locators, all learning and scaling together inside of our private school group. This offer gives you access to all 3 NAL pillars, which we've never offered before. So the plan, you're going to get the crash course. That'll take care of the first pillar. The tool, we're going to give you access to Locator IQ. That's the tool to carry out the plan, pillar number 2. And finally, pillar number 3, the accountability. Without paying $8,500 upfront, it's the perfect starter step for agents who are ready to try the model, get real results, and see what's possible before going all in through our Locator Academy. And yes, it's fully backed by our 7-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally no risk. We're not going to ask you to sign a contract. Don't worry about that. There's no long-term commitments, just $67 to try it out, get trained, get support, and start earning. We've never, ever offered this to the public, and we may never offer it again once this paid ad campaign ends. So before we wrap up, let me ask you a question. If all this did was help you reach $12,000 a month or more consistently, like so many of our students are actually earning, wouldn't that be worth the $8,500 one time? You bet your ass it would be. But right now, if you're okay with group coaching calls on Zoom bi-weekly, you can take advantage for only $67 a month. You're going to get the crash course, access to the tool Locator IQ, and bi-weekly group coaching conducted on Zoom. You don't have to commit to the full 8-week one-on-one Locator Academy today. Just take the first step. If you're serious about revolutionizing your real estate career, join our Locator movement and say goodbye to being a realtor ever again. So when you click the link below the video and get started, we're actually going to put you through this really interactive survey, which is great because it gives us a chance to really get to know you, your situation, and what you're looking for in your career. And once that interactive survey ends, it's going to reroute to a call that you can book. This is conducted with Alex, our head coach. He's going to show you around the school community, where to get support, how to get started, and he's going to welcome you into the community. Alex is actually one of our testimonials that we played during the video. He was a bartender in Fort Lauderdale. He made $40,000 a year, had, the same struggles that we hear about all the time being a realtor with little success. And then he made the pivot into becoming a locator using our locator strategy. And now he makes over $300,000 a year, and he's advanced to be our head coach here at NAL. So you get to actually talk to him live on that booked Zoom call. The second you click below, make the $67 investment. That's it. We're going to run you through that interactive survey, really get to know you, and then you get to book a call with Alex for 30 minutes totally for free, just to welcome you to the community and show you around on how to get started in the most efficient way. So what are you waiting for? Join our revolution. Piggyback off our locator model. It's the best way to work in real estate. Click below and let's build your six-figure locator business together, the NAL way. Thank you so much.